Hello, I'm Lauren Bruton and this is vlog 2, Skills and Capacities in Speed and Agility. I'll be looking at two athletes performing a basic 10 metre acceleration drill and a 10 metre shuttle run drill, where I'll be analysing their technique within these exercises and whether there are any skill or capacity issues within their movement patterns. I will then, where needed, show corrective drills to improve issues found. First performing the acceleration drill is athlete 1, who is a professional footballer with no current injury problems. As you can see from the slow motion clip, the athlete starts from a standing start position. Due to this athlete being a footballer, this start position would be the more specific for this game. On the still frame, you can see the athlete produces good triple extension and good dorsiflexion. However, she is producing high vertical forces as she drives up through the front leg, which is due to the lack of high horizontal forces produced. As you can see, there is a lack of forward lean in the athlete as she comes up too quickly with the torso right from the start of the acceleration, which will be producing the vertical forces. This could be due to the lack of capacity within the athlete to produce the necessary horizontal forces to keep a good forward lean to propel her forwards instead of vertical. The athlete's touchdown distance is small as her foot plants just in line with her centre of mass, increasing horizontal braking forces and prevents her from gaining good drive through the acceleration phase. The touchdown distance throughout this phase with every step gets larger, which the horizontal braking forces in turn will increase. This athlete lacks poor frontside leg action to enable to drive the front leg forwards and to pull back rapidly to land that leg behind the centre of mass. As you can also see, as she gets further into the acceleration phase, the athlete starts to produce compensatory movements for her torso by crouching and pushing the torso towards the ground to try and gain more forward lean. However, due to her coming up too quickly right from the start, it makes it difficult for the athlete to find any more movement. From the front view, you can see a valgus motion, especially through that left leg, and there is a slight twisting action through the torso as the arms swing across the body. This could indicate poor trunk stability, which pulls the arms across the body and is not relaxed through that torso. With the athlete's ability to produce more forward lean, to be able to pull back and improve touchdown distance to enable more horizontal force production, I introduced simple movement patterns such as A skips and B skips. We also added resistance training to enhance the athlete's ability to stay in that forward lean and to start producing good horizontal forces through better foot placement behind the centre of mass. We've used a resistance band here, but sled pushes and sled pulls can also be of benefit. For this exercises, we added extra exercises like marches and 5 metre sprint acceleration phases. These exercises can also have some aspect of trunk stability within, and to allow for the athlete to get used to keeping the torso strong and stable with no twisting motion with a knee drive, as you can see in the video. This next athlete is also a professional footballer who is currently in the process of getting back fit from a heel operation. As you can see from this clip, she also starts with a standing start. The athlete already tries to start with a significant forward lean by bringing the chest down parallel to the floor. Once she starts to accelerate, you can see she also produces good knee drive, dorsiflexion through the foot, and good arm drive like athlete 1. From this still shot, when driving through that back leg, she does not produce full triple extension through the hip region, which could be due to the lack of range or weakness through hip extension. This reduces the range through the back leg, which will prevent the body getting good angles to produce horizontal forces and using the stretch shortening cycle to good effect. In this acceleration phase, the stretch shortening cycle is a significant part of force production, and inefficiency will reduce sprint speed. This issue can also reduce posterior chain usage, so not only do you lose force through a lack of triple extension, but through your glutes and hamstrings being unable to activate, which are essential. The athlete also isn't able to pull the leg back high to get in a good position for the next step, which, as we can see from the first foot drive, the touchdown distance is far too far in front of the centre of mass. This athlete at this point is still crouched through that torso to try and produce as much forward lean as possible. Also see there is a slight left lateral pelvic tilt when left being the stance leg, whereas on the right side the pelvic remains stable. This could be due to the core muscles not firing efficiently or being strong enough to keep the pelvis stable throughout the movement. However, this is a lack of hip extension is coming from a poor range through the hips. I tested this athlete's hip flex and mobility. As you can see from the range this athlete gets before she starts to anteriorly rotate through the pelvis, she is unable to produce a significant range of motion. This proves to us that there is a capacity issue, which can be improved through a proper mobility and strength program. Adding hurdle mobility drills to this athlete's program before training would be beneficial to improve hip mobility, along with some simple PNF hip flexor stretches with bands to add an opposite force. Also, adding in some plyometrics to improve the force production through this triple extension, such as hops and bounds. This athlete is taking part in the 10-metre shuttle drill. She accelerates from a standing start position. When driving off the right side, once she plants the foot, because she has not produced enough force to decelerate, she fails to control her trunk stability, and as her torso falls and twists towards the stance foot and not over the centre of mass. This makes it difficult for the athlete to now change direction quickly and efficiently. Her weight distribution shifts very quickly from the front leg onto the landing of the left foot to start the direction of force. From this still frame, you can see the angle she gets at that knee and how open her hip is to be ready to change direction on the left side, whereas the right side she is very closed with her hips and the knees still pointing forwards. As you can see, when she gets the trailing leg round, when changing direction on the right side, it lands outside the body's line of force. The foot points outwards, which will waste force produced, pulling the body sideways instead of forwards. This could be due to a skill issue of learning how to quickly decelerate and get the body in a good position for takeoff. However, this could also be due to a lack of ground reaction force to drive that back leg through to get in a good position for landing. This is not the case on the left hand side. What she does do well both sides is getting that landing foot behind the centre of mass, although from the right hand side the torso is still directing sideways, as you can see from the front of her jumper when she plants that foot. To determine whether this athlete had a capacity or skill issue, we looked at the athlete performing lateral shuffles to see how she drives off each side. As you can see from the video, the athlete shows significant valgus motion on that right side. This could show a capacity issue or a weakness through the right gluteals, which could be the reason why this athlete fails to produce enough horizontal forces. Adding crab walks and monster walks into these athletes' programs will be important to increase activation and strength from the gluteals to prevent valgus motion. Incorporating lateral drives to try and improve the athlete's force production from that back leg will help improve this athlete within this movement pattern. These exercises could have a real impact on helping this athlete improve her change of direction. 2's rep of the 10-metre shuttle drill. There are some important differences between change of direction and right and left side. As you can see though, from the right hand side, she does get good depth during deceleration, slow down as quick as possible, and in fact gets in a very good position to ready to drive off the stance leg to turn. She also allows the torso to stay in line with the front leg to stay under her centre of mass, so to allow the change of direction to be quicker and more efficient. When we look at the change of direction from the left hand side, there is no difference between them. However, once we get onto the drive phase of this drill, you can quite clearly see a difference between sides. Pushing off from the right hand side looks very comfortable and gets very good drive of that stance leg, and is able to pull that leg back round really quickly with a good knee drive, so she is setting early to pull back after turning 180 degrees. However, if you consider the left hand side, you can see there is a significant difference in the speed, power and drive of that stance leg to pull that leg through and change direction as quickly as possible. Due to this athlete just coming back from a left heel op, there is still a lack of force development through the calf region and a high amount of stiffness through that left leg. The athlete feels unable to get as much force off that leg to change direction. There is a poor knee drive and comes up way too quickly with her torso. In the athlete's 180 degree change of direction, obviously taking into consideration the athlete's injury history to see whether there was a capacity issue for the gastrocnemius, we looked at her calf capacity by doing 30 reps of single leg calf raises off step. You can see a difference in the range both sides, which can indicate a lack of force produced and indeed will have an impact in change of direction. With this athlete also found to have a hip flexor tightness, this will also cause force production issues. Incorporating some single leg eccentric calf raises, making sure the athlete takes 2 seconds up and 2 seconds down with 15 reps of 3 sets each side. As this athlete gets comfortable with this, adding weight would be beneficial. Drives for this athlete are needed to get used to generating that eccentric force through single leg drive, and will also have a good benefit for trunk stability in that forward lean phase to control that knee drive. Hops and bounds can also enhance force production for this athlete through triple extension by really trying to exert as much ground force through that single leg.